Welcome everybody to the NR2003 Draft Series, coming to you live from Pocono Raceway once again for our second trip out here to Long Pond, Pennsylvania. I'm Michael Paz, Darien Arnsdorff alongside me, bringing the coverage. And we were only here a couple of weeks ago, so it's still fresh in everybody's minds. You've got basically everything you learned from last time out, so how can you go and apply that today?
It's going to be very important to apply that today. I feel like a lot to learn from a race that just happened about 3, 4, 5 weeks ago. So it's really important to keep that notebook out. Hopefully you didn't take it too far from the track, so you can make sure you know exactly what you're coming into here today. That race earlier this season was won by Derek Cope. However, it was under caution. Dale Earnhardt Sr. had a great chance to get there at the very end, but with the caution coming out with about 2 or 3 to go, never had the chance to make a move. So Cope got his first win of the season here earlier this season. Last year's race, the second race here at Pocono from last year, Rusty Wallace was able to get the win in a race that had 4 Fords finish in the top 4. Do we think there's a chance of something like that possibly happening here today, Michael?
I think that's entirely possible. We've seen Fords do really well, especially in the last few weeks compared to the other manufacturers. I mean, you know, Hendrick over in Chevy has been doing their thing, but we got to give credit where it's due. We see guys like Dale Jarrett, Ken Schrader, Ricky Rudd. Those are all Ford cars, and they have been going and making an absolutely wonderful resurgence. Actually, when we look at the point standings right now, 2nd through 5th is all Ford, and 7th, 8th as well. We got Jarrett, Bobby Hamilton, Morgan Shepherd, Ricky Rudd, Ken Schrader, Jeff Gordon. All of them are in there, and they're all on pretty stellar runs, putting up a good fight to Dale Earnhardt Sr., who's part of Petty Penske, which is the team that's on the mix of Pontiac and Ford.
Yeah, like you said, a lot of Fords up here. Only 4 Chevrolets in the top 11, only 1 Pontiac in the top 11. The lone Pontiac being the points leader, Dale Earnhardt Sr. Now, I want to go back to, you remember what I mentioned last week, Michael, about how we were going over the top 6 in points and how I was looking at a championship contender not in that top 6. I was looking at Ken Schrader. Well, our stats guy brought this up earlier today. Ken Schrader has finished no worse than 18th in the last 8 races. 2 top 10s including there, with an 8th at Charlotte and a 2nd at Dover. So, very, very good stretch of races for the 94 car.
Yeah, Ken Schrader has been on an absolutely steady run. It's been quite incredible to watch, because even if we haven't seen him up towards the front competing for the win, this consistency is something that's going to go and still keep him in this championship fight. And as we see qualifying, it looks like he's qualified 12th today, so good starting spot again for him to go and get another good finish. So we look at our starting lineup for today. David Green's going to be on pole, a Chevy, alongside the number 3 of Derek Cope. Then in row 2, Dale Earnhardt Sr., who we were just talking about as the points leader. Alongside him is going to be the number 5 of Ron Hornaday Jr. Row number 3, Mike McLaughlin, once again proving that the stellar performance he's had in this 87 car, exemplified again with that 5th place starting spot, alongside Sterling Marlin in the 42. Row number 4 is Wally Dallenbach, alongside the 22 of Mark Martin. Dallenbach doing a really good job in that 3rd RCR car. Been kind of on the fringes, so good qualifying start. Always appreciated for that team. And around out the top 10, Dale Jarrett, 2nd in points. He's been on his own kind of flyer. He had 2 wins, Michigan, California, both in a row. This is another 2-mile track. He ended up finishing 37th last time out at Pocono, but I think today he's got a little bit, I think he's going to do a lot better than that. And in 10th is the number 48 at Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Moving on to rounding out the top 20, row number 6, we see John Andretti. He strings 7 points of a 94. Ken Schrader, who, like I mentioned not long ago, 8 straight top 20 finishes. We'll see if that continues here today. Row 7, we got Bill Elliott starting next to the rookie Kevin Harvick. Kevin Harvick on an amazing stretch of races lately. We'll see how he'll continue on from there. Row number 8, we see Jim Sauter starting next to Ernie Irvin. Sauter, replacement driver for an injured Randy LaJoy, who will be back later this year. Moving on to row number 9, we see Jeff Gordon starting next to Ricky Craven. And rounding out the top 20, we see Jeff Burton starting next to Robert Yates Racing's Harry Gant.
Then at the second half of the field, we got the number 40 of Todd Bodine, who's been also on own little... He's been doing some good things here or there with that number 40 car, finishing 14th the last time out at New Hampshire. And then right along him is the number 26 of Jeremy Mayfield, who's finally qualified again for a race with a pretty good starting spot. He's been kind of going off and on D&Q and low finishes, so he's looking to turn that around. Behind them, it'll be the number 18 of Michael Waltrip alongside the 10 of Bobby Hamilton, one of the championship contenders. Then in the row further back, it's the number 12 of Jason Keller, qualifying after another stretch of D&Qs, alongside the 25 of Steve Park. Behind them, it'll be the number 46 of Mike Bliss, alongside the 9 of Morgan Shepherd. And to round out the top 30 will be the number 1 of Jack Sprague and the number 82, rookie Elliott Sadler in the Lone Dodge.
Rounding out the rest of the field, row number 60, we go to Hermie Sadler in the 36. He's next to Ward Burton, Jeremy Mayfield's teammate. Row 17, we see Robbie Gordon in the 77 for Jasper, starting next to League Speed, the 3rd Robert Yates racing car. Row 18, we see Bobby Labonte, who had a great run last week at New Hampshire, finishing in the top 5. He's next to the 90 of Kevin LePage. Row 19, Jeff Green is in the field for one of a few times this season in the 49 for Sobco. He's next to Joe Ruttman in the 63. Rounding out the top 40, row number 20, we see Rusty Wallace starting next to Johnny Benson Jr. Benson qualified 5th earlier today in pre-qualifying, did not convert to actual qualifying. We'll see if his speed from pre-qual can return in the race. Row 21, we see Terry Labonte, last year's champion, starting next to Mike Skinner. And rounding out the field in row 22, a bit of a slow qualifying lap compared to everyone else. The 99 of Ricky Rudd, engine failure in qualifying, gave him a lap time of 2 minutes 13 seconds, which is just a bit slower than everyone else's, I'd say, Michael.
Yeah, so it's an unfortunate thing that still happens from time to time. It's thankfully gotten a lot more rare, but it still can happen to drivers. That's just something that comes with it, unfortunately. And one of the success stories is actually back here in 36, actually, Kevin LePage. We were talking about how we're celebrating Jeff Green qualifying after missing the last 2 races. Kevin LePage has not qualified for the last 4. The last race he made was Pocono, where he finished 29th. So I think the 90 car, this is going to be their chance to go ahead and get a good showing out of today.
Yeah, it's a very important race for Kevin LePage, I'd say. Anytime you can make a race that and you haven't been making races a lot lately, you really need to come on through and get a good run out of it. Speaking of people not making races, our D&Q list for today: Matt Kenseth, Linda Namick, Ted Musgrave, Butch Gilliland, Chad Little, Kyle Petty, Jimmy Spencer, Jerry Nadeau, Hut Strickland, Jeff Purvis, Dick Trickle, Toshio Suzuki, and Donnie Neuenberger. Some very heavy hitters in the D&Q list this week.
Yeah, I want to point out Hut Strickland was just on the border of top 35, but when it came to tiebreakers, it went to Ken Schrader, and unfortunately, Hut Strickland was not able to qualify by losing the tiebreaker and being so far down in owner's points. So shout out to him, though, as we look to our actual field for today. About to come out of turn 3. Only 3 corners, remember, at Pocono. Pace car is off, and we're all ready to get this thing underway. Here we go for the second race at Pocono. We are green. And already the fun thing about the front stretch of Pocono, cars can go 3 wide, 3, 4 wide, and they're still 3 wide entering the corner. A lot of guys are totally 3 wide.
That's totally not horrifying to see right bat in the race, is it, Michael? Hornaday down to the inside, trying to get down past Derek Cope, heading down towards turn number 2. Hornaday and Cope battling for 3rd place as Jeff Green trying to run away in the lead.
Single file the first 2, Dale Earnhardt Sr. in 2nd, then the 5, Ron Hornaday in 3rd. Front 5 single file there, 3 wide for 6 behind, 48, 87, and the 95.
I think the 48 had to check up there. You don't want to be too far on the inside there in turn 3. Saw earlier this season here at Pocono. Mark Martin going all the way down from the top to the bottom. Might look to send it in on Mike McLaughlin here.
He's going to have the better preferred lane coming out of turn 1 onto the straightaway. But we'll see if Mike McLaughlin can go and get another run. And down the straightaway, it looks like he's not able to. Mark Martin's going to take that position as they get into turn 2.
A lot of battling going on here early on here at Pocono. Up front, David Green still the leader, top 10 about single file. So they're already getting a bit calmer here at Pocono. Only lap number 2, we're about to start lap 3. Sterling Marlin looking to possibly get a run on Derek Cope, but not really a chance to get a big run there exiting turn 3.
It looks like the runs aren't coming just yet, unless you're Ron Hornaday. Gonna try to go to the inside of the 43. Not yet, though. Started to look out.
Oh.
And look at that, the 43 might get his own run on the 24.
Haven't seen Dale Earnhardt up front a lot lately. He started this season off really, really well, but he hasn't been up front too terribly much lately. Could this be a chance to get 5 bonus points for the 43 car?
We'll see how they do. He's side by side with the 24. Ron Hornaday not going to help his teammate. Gonna go right on by him. And it looks like Sterling Marlin almost sent it in.
Uh-oh. He did send it in. The hell are you talking about? Marlin went all the way down to the inside, but it's not going to work. Here comes Wally Dallenbach on the outside line. All 3 RCR cars up in the top 10 early on here.
Oh my gosh, all the way in the back half of the field, we saw cars all the way down to the checkered flag stripes on the very inside of the wall there. They're almost going 4 wide for last.
They are 4. What the hell are you guys doing? This is goofy already. Lap number 4, and we've already seen many near-death experiences here.
I don't think anybody wants to win NASCAR today, especially not the 90 LePage. So we head back up front here. See the 95. Dallenbach might try to go the inside of the 24. They're going to go 3 wide behind.
Oh, no.
Andretti, Sterling Marlin, Derek Cope.
Oh, Andretti had to check up.
Oh. That's something that the track planners were talking about. Something they were trying to fix was that checkup that drivers have to do as we see 3 almost 4 wide. Hello, Mike McLaughlin.
McLaughlin almost turned himself off the 2 of Dale Jarrett. That was almost really, really bad for the 87 car.
McLaughlin doing what he does best, stealing the thunder right now as he's trying to hold on to his top 10 position. But as I was saying, they are trying to fix that issue of why cars have to go and slow down so much on the inside corner coming out of that final thing. And throughout all of the tests, they tried and they thought they got it, so we'll have to see. Maybe it'll develop more as the run goes on, as we see Ron Hornaday takes the lead.
Here comes Wally Dallenbach. The 95 is going to send it down inside the 24 at David Green. I know it's early on. We're only on lap 6, but imagine the scenes if Wally Dallenbach is able to get to victory lane here today.
That would be a really fun story, especially for the other RCR boys, because this 95, you'll remember, they got it from Sadler Brothers. For all intents and purposes, they still use a lot of the Sadler Brothers equipment. So compared to the bigger, even pit boxes of the 3 of the 31, the 95 still has a relatively small pit box. just one little war wagon is where they get all their equipment out of. So that would be a really big party at the smallest pit box possible.
And, I mean, Dallenbach's only made, out of 17 races, he's only made 10 of them. He's missed 7. Best finish this year of 16th. Back at Charlotte. So you gotta think, a top 10 alone would be massive, but a top 5 or even a win would be unbelievable for the 95 team at Richard Childress Racing.
As we've seen, though, it's a long race. Still got a long ways to go. Gotta hold on for at least another 60-plus laps.
Yeah, lap 7 here. We got 63 to go. This time by as they round turn number 3. Leader still Ron Hornaday Jr., Vince Dale Earnhardt, David Green, Sterling Marlin, Wally Dallenbach. So, and we got a bit of a battle back there for 8th place with Dale Jr. and Dale Jarrett.
I can't wait for the day when we have the battle of all 3 Dales, Dale Jarrett Jr. and Sr., and we're going to get really confused, saying Dale's on the inside, Dale's on the outside, Dale's in the middle.
It's a Dale, and Dale show.
Right now it's Dale, Jeff, as Jeff Burton trying to join the fray, get a position around the 48 car. Tries to send it in, 48.
Oh!
Got a little bit loose through the corner. This is going to give Jeff an opportunity to go and take that position into turn 3. I believe this is for 9th.
Yeah, that was just for 9th place. If they're willing to do that for 9th place on lap number 8, imagine what it'll be for the late at the end of it.
I mean, we saw what they were doing for 40th.
That is very true.
Dallenbach.
You know what I'm thinking? How about we get a check-in on the 99 of Ricky Rudd? Started back in 43rd place here today. The man who's up 5th in points. And he seems like he's made a bit of progress, but not a whole lot. Up 11 spots so far in this one.
I mean, 11 spots in 9 laps. That you're passing at least 1 car a lap. That's pretty good progress so far. Especially considering a track like Pocono, where once everybody stops getting 2x2, it's really difficult to go and make enough passes to go and get your way through the field.
Yeah, that's a very key point there as well, but it's also like you're in the car that is 5th in points. 11 spots is really good, but you gotta make up a lot more than that if you want to be in contention at the end here. This is for 31st place with Elliott Sadler, but with Dale Sr. running up in 2nd, Dale Jarrett running in 8th, this could be a big hit in the points for Ricky Rudd.
Especially, I think the main thing that's got to concern him right now is the gap between 29th and 28th. It's about 2 seconds already between Terry Labonte and Robbie Gordon in the 77 car. So these guys are losing the leaders pretty quickly.
Whoa!
Oh, hello, Elliott Sadler.
Nearly wrecked each other for 30th place. That was mildly horrifying. 61 to go. And again, this is very scary to watch.
And Ruttman's going, pushing to 82 along, pushed him past the 26.
Might be 3 wide up here. No, never mind.
It's Morgan Shepherd, Ernie Irvin. Hello, Jack Sprague. Jack Sprague, I thought, for a second, I thought he was going to try to make it 3 wide.
Oh, Jeff Green sending it into the inside. Gap at the lead is starting to shrink a little bit from 24 100s. It's down to 17. So potentially something shifting at the actually, never mind. Hornaday's pulled away a lot this time around.
To see if Dale Sr. can go and mount another attack. Sterling Marlin trying to mount an attack for 3rd on the inside of the 24 car there.
Yeah, just can't get a run off of turn 3. That's been a major thing so far today, but here comes Green inside of Earnhardt. We'll see if that can be a move made for 2nd place here on lap number 12.
Side by side, it looks like the 24's got the better run. Sterling Marlin's going to go help him. And to the inside they go with a 43. And I think
It's an
both of them are going to get it.
opportunistic move. Opportunistic move off the 42, but I like it. Now it's really opportunistic. Here he goes to the inside of green. This is for second place. Look at Earnhardt.
Senior almost tried to send it down the middle, and it almost worked.
Marlin had to check up because I don't think he expected that. Green keeps second, Earnhardt in third. Here comes Derek Cope with a run, and so is Wally Dollenbach. He's up to fourth.
And there's Senior looking for second. I think it's up at the 24 again.
Now if Dollenbach can get up here, he could possibly make a move, try and get into third. But I think Earnhardt's going to stay right there with the 24 all the way down into turn 2.
Remember when we said Fords won all last year, the top 4 positions? Well, now it's 4 Chevys and a Pontiac.
Gotta love how the years change, don't you? And look at the gap as well between first and second because of everything occurring. It's up to 3/4 of a second between first and second as Earnhardt still on the inside, can't get there. Had to check up as they exit turn 3.
Let's get on board with Derek Cope. He's been very willing to get down all the way to the inside, down the front straightaway into turn number 1. And we see how much the 43 is able to send it into the corner, taking that wide lane, and that gets him side by side with the 42 car. And this is the key point for Senior. Can he go get enough of that momentum to get past the 42? We're going to enter dead even into turn number 2. And it looks like the 43's got the better run. 42's going to give a little bit of momentum here. Now entering turn 3, this is going to be, we'll see how that inside does. 43 got a pretty good drive off, and he's going to take the position ahead of the 42 of Sterling Marlin.
Yeah, he's up to third now, but watch the gap between Green and Hornaday. So very important, 0.6 of a second between first and second, as it looks like they're almost 5 wide back there in the mid-20s.
Oh, they almost were. Hello.
Oh my goodness.
Harry Gant at the tail end of what was almost 4 wide.
Yeah, that was very, very close. That was almost a big accident potentially. If you'd make it 4 wide in the last seconds, things tend to not go well. We've seen it at places like Daytona and Talladega in the past, where if you make it 4 wide at sudden notice, that could be spelling disaster.
Because remember, Pocono is also the track that has the interesting distinction of having 2 flips in the same race.
I forgot about that. We said that earlier this season. Is there almost 4 wide up here at the front now? What is happening?
They paid for the whole track. They're going to use the whole track.
Yeah, much to the disdain of the commentators who is about to crap their pants.
But thankfully these drivers aren't, and they are perfectly okay right now with making all of these quite insane moves. I believe it was one of our a commentator from many years before who said these are ordinary men doing extraordinary things. As we see Dollenbach try to go to the inside of his teammate, help from Dale Jarrett.
Had to check up. Sometimes you just can't get that run off of turn 3. That's a big key. This race, it's going to be, can you get the run off of turn 3? And if you do, can you capitalize on it?
And I'm almost thinking, you know, if you want to hold on to the pass, you might have to try to push more aggressive, get it going into turn 2, and then hold it through 3.
Battle possibly for 6th. Jarrett ahead of the 2, or Jarrett ahead of the 95. That'll move him into 6th place. Mark starting to become a lot calmer back here.
It also helps when the gap starts to increase by this much. Mark Martin at the tail end of the top 10, 2.8 seconds behind. 11th on back is 5 seconds back.
There's a gap of 2.2 seconds. Might go up to 2.5 this time potentially, but
3 to 5.3, so 2.3.
Yeah. So it is A very different race this time around than it was earlier this season. Battle here between Waltrip and Craven for, I believe, 11th place.
Right now they're kind of alone in their fight. I mean, they've got Jim Sauter in the background, but all open field ahead of both of them. 73 at Craven had to go a little bit higher. Michael Waltrip took that lane from him, and he's going to take the position from him.
So now, can you make the progress needed to come back into the top 10? Battle for 8th place here between Jeff Burton and Dale Earnhardt Jr. Never mind.
Oh, Jarrett still trying to get the inside of Derek Cope here. He's going to take it with relative ease.
You gotta think Cope's thinking, you really don't want to be on the outside in turn 2. That could be a disaster waiting to happen, is if you get a bit loose in turn 2, you could be being sent straight into the outside wall at like 160 miles an hour.
And that's something no driver wants to go through. So you got to be careful when you're fighting for position, you know. Got to weigh the risks, you know. Sometimes it's better to just lose one position than end up in the wall and end your day. So right now, everybody is still pretty quiet. I mean, we still got some battling back here. Morgan Shepherd going all the way down to the inside, still trying to go and pass cars, but as it is right now, everybody is kind of settled in. And we're going to see now how a long run starts to affect these guys. We see Shepherd going to the inside of 49 for 24th.
Good to see the 49 up here running in the top 25. We were talking about him earlier, how he's been struggling to make races. It's really, really good to see an unsponsored car like that running in the top 25.
Yeah, he's got a good example ahead of him, Sobco number 46, Mike Bliss. And Bliss, of course, has been doing pretty well compared to recent weeks. 3 top 20s to complement the string of low finishes he's had. Because most of the time, it's not been through his own doing. It's been involvement in incidents or mechanicals.
I was gonna say, like, there's been plenty of times this last stretch of races that Mike Bliss really should have finished top 10, top 5, or even have won. I mean, you look back at something like Charlotte, before that accident involving Joe Nemechek and Randy LaJoy, he was the leader. Like, he had such a fast car back at the Coca-Cola 600, but got involved in the accident. It just cost, like, I think that's what's really hurt his momentum, because he's been really, really good these last stretch of races, but the results just don't show it.
Yeah, and I know he's definitely looking for a better run at Pocono. Last time he was at Pocono, I do believe he went upside down and finished 41st. As he goes to the inside of the 94. Oh no! And he's gonna get turned!
No! Not your teammate!
Caution is out here, lap number 22.
Are we calling that one the commentator's curse?
I'm gonna call it a confirmation that I think Mike Bliss is not a fan of Pocono.
I think he's just not a fan of anyone right now.
Oh. First caution of the day. And well, that came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I don't think we expected to see someone's damn teammate wreck one another.
Let's take a look. Mike Bliss is heading in here at 197 miles an hour, and
I don't even know what to say. Like, you can't do that. Like, I don't care who's at fault, but you can't allow that to happen. It's your own teammate.
well, look at there, the 46, it looks like, does take from this angle, it looks like he takes a higher lane. He might have been able to go down to the inside a little bit more. Or really was there just too many cars fighting for too little real estate.
I don't think it's that. Like, the 49 could have checked up. That's a possibility, but, like, that's just a very, very bad circumstance to have occurring. And now, I don't remember what we're looking at fuel window-wise, but could this caution here on lap 22, could this cause some strategy shenanigans?
We'll take a look at that in a second. I want to get one more onboard here from the 49 of Jeff Green to see kind of what he saw going into this. And it kind of just seemed like they were both going for the same racing lane.
Yeah, it looks like they turned into each other, which, again, don't do that. That's your teammate.
Unfortunate for both these guys. And the fuel window is around 40 laps. So, on lap 23 right now, they would have to pit again if they do pit now.
Yeah, so this is a weird spot to be because you're 7 laps out the fuel window. And I do think these guys are going to pit anyway because I don't know how the tire fall off has been. But it could be a thing of, like, we could have a pit stop cycle of around 10 laps to go here.
Really interesting things at play. And we'll be back for the restart right after this. Welcome back to the 1997 NR2003 Draft Series at Pocono. And we're going to start off with a replay here because under caution, Terry Labonte, number 33, they're all coming up to speed. And here comes the 94. Just dumps him.
Yeah, that's probably the most blatant example of what on earth are you doing that we have seen yet this season, Michael.
Yeah, that seemed entirely avoidable. It doesn't, like, there was no reason for that at all. And actually, we're getting word right now that NASCAR is going to investigate that incident after the race and see potentially if there's a penalty involved for the 94, because that seemed like just blatant disregard for your fellow driver.
Yeah, and there's a chance that it could be so severe that if they just take a look at it during the race, we could get word of it as soon as, you know, or later on in the race here. So we may even have an update for you by the time we get all said and done here.
We're about to go green right here. Back green, lap number 26, with pit stops, with one more potentially looming. We'll see how that affects everybody. So we see a lot of 2, almost 3 wide further on back through the field. The first 6 or 7, all neat and tidy, single file. Except for Dale Sr. Here he goes to the inside of the 2.
It's always Dale. Good Lord. Big battle here for 4th place. Earnhardt, Jarrett, the 2 teammates, and look at Earnhardt Jr. Goodness gracious, he about wrecked himself off the 4.
He tried to find the inside. He's gonna he's gonna shut the door on the 3 car right there. There's the 43, the 2 getting that better run off the corner though.
The 4 checked up, the 4 checked up. Here comes Craven on the outside. Big run for 73.
We'll see if Craven can carry that momentum to the inside on turn 1.
Oh!
And almost there, but no. No cigar for the 73. And as we see up front, Sterling Marlin on the back bumper of the 5. David Green trying to stay in touch with these guys.
That is... This could be the first time this season we've really seen a Sopco car leading laps here since the Coca-Cola 600 with Mike Bliss, and now Sterling Marlin, the one that's highest in points, looking to finally lead the charge here at Pocono.
Because I just want to point out that Sterling Marlin this year has only led 2 laps this entire season. So I think that's pretty high up on the list for him right now.
I think the main thing, really, you want to get the 5 bonus points for just a lap, but yes, but you also want to make sure you finish where you are. You're P2, you don't want to screw that up too badly, I think.
Yeah, he's also in the interesting situation of the Hendrick sandwich. He's got the 5 in front of him, 24 behind him. His teammates were involved in that last incident, the 46 and the 49.
Yeah, that's never a good sign when your teammates wreck each other. As here comes Davinci Green, looking for second, but he may not get a run here off of turn 3.
So there's Craven in 6th, Jeff Burton in 7th. Oh my gosh, look at how much these cars are turning into the corner, especially turn 1. Those things are all over the place.
Michael, I want to point out, look who's up to 10th place now to 28, Harry Gant. First time we've seen a Robert Yates car in the top 10 all day, I believe.
Yeah, Harry Gant finally going ahead and doing some good things with that car right now. Started a little bit further out in the field, but he just ran his fastest lap of the race, a 52.20. And on the speed chart, that would be... it's not exactly the highest, 17th fastest overall amongst drivers, but he just ran another one, 51.92, 4th fastest overall. I'd say he's on a pretty good flyer right now.
Yeah, he's starting to move as we have a battle for the lead potentially. The gap was 8 100ths last time by between Marlin and Hornaday.
They're side by side.
Here we go for the lead, 40 laps to go next time by. As they head down into turn number 2, Marlin with the advantage, can he clear? Heading through the tunnel turn. Oh!
Ooh, man. Looks like he will be able to clear the 5 car.
Here comes Hornaday, or here comes Earnhardt with a big run. Ricky Craven up to 4th as well in the 3. And a big run for Earnhardt.
Earnhardt made that inside lane work, but Sterling Marlin's going to lead this lap. 3rd lap led of the season for Sterling Marlin. Dale Sr. right up on his back bumper, though.
Gotta think now, how worried are you if you're Marlin? 40 laps to go in this one. He leads the way ahead of Dale Earnhardt Sr., the points leader.
Senior, of course, still looking for that first win. Ron Hornaday looking for his 3rd this year. To the inside of the 43, he goes!
This totally isn't horrifying at all. I'm not scared, you're scared.
There's another Hendrick car going to join the fight. David Green going to try to help his teammate in the 5.
Oh, Hornaday got the run! No, he didn't!
It's pretty close.
Here comes Craven!
Looks like Senior's going to hold on to 2nd. They are 3 wide behind. Oh, man.
Up to 3rd. Oh, no.
Jeff Burton sends it in. And past the 2 and the 48.
Might even get the 24 here as well. He's going to try it. Ricky Craven up to 3rd, but Hornaday got the run right back. That's for 3rd place. I think this time Hornaday is going to be good as they exit turn 2.
Yes, he is. Hornaday retains 3rd. David Green going to try to go for 4th on the inside of the 73. He's got to be careful, though. He gets too far to the inside. You're going to lose a little bit of speed. Looks like he got too far to the inside. Only so many drivers are able to make that inside lane work, like Dale Sr. There's this little sweet spot in there as he goes for the lead down the front stretch into turn 1. There's a sweet spot on that inside lane in turn 3 to where you can go and get the run and get yourself set up like how Dale Sr.'s doing here.
New leader at Pocono, Dale Earnhardt Sr., the 43 for Petty Penske. Yet to win this season, looking for his first. And now he leads it with 30 7 laps to go next time by.
Front four in a little group. We got 5 more behind them in another group. And the gaps, again, behind Jeff Gordon in 12th, is getting larger and larger. Take a look here. Gordon was 2.9 seconds back. Meanwhile, Johnny Andretti in 13th is 5 seconds back, so that's a whole about 2 seconds. Sorry, 3. 2-3.
No, that's 2 seconds. 2.9 compared to 5.0, about 2.1 seconds. So, that is a very large gap. I don't know if that's going to be able to be made up, but... I mean, a 13th place still ain't bad for most of the guys in the field. Unless you're Bobby Hamilton, which that's not good.
Yeah, Hamilton, 3rd in points right now. He's had 2 top 10s in the last 4 races, but compared to Dale Jarrett, that's the reason he lost 2nd place in the championship, is because Jarrett had 2 wins in those last 4 races, a 5th and a 16th place. So even though it's a good day on paper, in the championship fight, you've got to do that extra little step up from good to great.
And sometimes, whenever you're in a race like this, where it's such a big gap, you really can't make that up. Once you the 8 ball, you're just stuck there, I believe.
One guy who's not stuck there is the 33.
Broken rear end and all, he is still fighting. He's going for 18th on Michael Waltrip.
And remember, I believe he started all the way down in 41st or 42nd, pretty far down in the field. And that doesn't seem to bother him none. He's going trying to catch those 4 cars ahead of him. Bobby Hamilton tried to get to the inside of the 31, nothing of it yet.
Battles all over. Up front, we have a big battle in the top 5. I don't know exactly who that is.
It's the 73 and the 5 again. As Jeff Burton has made his way to 3rd throughout all this.
You know, we haven't really done it a lot this season. Michael, how about we go on board with the crank it up here at Pocono?
Side by side between the 73 and the 5 here. And Darien, I believe you have an update on the potential penalty.
Yeah, back in that incident, as we see a bad in the top 10, that incident between Ken Schrader and Terry Labonte, we have a preliminary penalty coming in here. 4-94, Ken Schrader, a 50-point penalty that will be added post-race. Nothing will be affecting his in-race results, but his 50 points. They'll be going against the 94 Ken Schrader with the incident with Terry Labonte. And that could be a massive hindrance in the championship battle for the man who's 7th in points.
Yeah, we were talking about his consistency, and with that in mind, if the 50-point penalty, I think he's got to do a little bit more than consistency if he wants to go and make up that gap. 50 points right now would actually, I think, cost him up to 4 spots. I think that would put him around 11th or 12th in the championship. So that's going to be a big blow, but also at the same time, this could have been entirely avoided.
Yeah, it was a very easy thing to avoid, but he just absolutely flat out dumped the 33 of Terry Labonte under caution, which in NASCAR's eyes you absolutely cannot do in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, when the cars are slowing down, that's when they're at their most vulnerable. So that's why NASCAR is going to be so particular on those, because we don't want to risk the driver's health and safety for someone's own personal vendetta. That's not how it goes about, as we see him get around the 10 right now for 13th position.
Yeah, I also want to point out
and
now,
engine issues reported on the 9 car.
Morgan Shepherd, that's a big issue for one of the guys in the top in points.
He made it to pit road, and right now he is just, I don't know how severe it is, but it's going to definitely take him out of contention for winning this race, and probably for any semblance of a good finish.
Yeah, it happened a couple laps ago. We just now saw it. So that is a major issue. Where did the 42 go? He has fallen back 8/10, and oh my goodness!
And the 42 has been replaced in second place by the 4 Jeff Burton, who's going to try to take the fight to the 43.
30 laps to go when they cross a stripe. Remember, fuel window, 40 laps. So we're looking at around 5 or 6 to go. Could be when we have pit stops. I don't know.
And the 9 has officially retired from the race. So we're down to just 42 cars still racing, all on the lead line.
That is a massive blow for the man 4th in points. He was 120. Gotta think that could be that engine failure alone could potentially cost him the championship by the time we get to Atlanta.
Yeah, it's always going to be that one result that's going to be the thing that can go and kill a championship. It's that one DNF for a mechanical. It's that one 15th place finish when you should have finished 5th. It's all these finishes. So even though sometimes you have to go to the mentality of, we'll just go ahead and try next week, you realize is that, like, man, that could have been our championship right then and there.
Yeah, I know it's like, it could be a bit early for us to be discussing the championship, race number 17 of the year, but at this point, we're halfway done. We are this is race 18, I should say. We are halfway done with the season. We are getting down to it. You have to be absolutely laser focused on what you can do to keep yourself in contention for the championship. Battle for 3rd here between Ron Hornaday Jr. and Sterling Marlin.
They are still going at it. They've been side by side for almost a lap now. Hornaday not able to get a good run into turn number 3. Gonna follow in suit behind the 42 car. Maybe he might be able to get a run down the front stretch. Actually, Jeff Burton ahead of him is gonna get a run first. Jeff Burton going for the lead on the inside of the 43.
28 laps to go here. And now the battle for the lead between Burton and Earnhardt. And Burton, a huge run through turn number 1. New leader at Pocono. It's the 4 of Jeff Burton for Morgan McClure.
And, you know, one thing I think we keep forgetting about is, in fact, Jeff Burton won at Texas this year. This has been one of the quietest wins of the year. And then to complement that, he's got several podiums as well. Actually, three second place finishes and a 3rd place finish to complement all that. So he's been his own level of quietly consistent, or at least some quiet good finishes as well.
Yeah, the difference between someone like him and someone like Ken Schrader, look at that's the thing there, 9 top 13 or 14 for Ken Schrader. So that is a massive difference, I feel like, between the level of consistency you're working with as a driver between Jeff Burton and someone like Ken Schrader.
Yeah, and there's slightly different goals as well, because now I think the 94 is shifting a little bit more towards the consistency for a championship, and the 4 car I think is mostly focusing on the race-by-race basis, because they still have their struggles, but they've had a lot less struggles than they have had in the beginning of the early half of the season. They had 3 35th or worse finishes by Martinsville, and then after Martinsville, they've only had one finish below the top 30.
Yeah, damn it. It's been a weird sight. Very strange to see, like, how they've been getting along here. As look at the gap now between the 4 and the 43, it's gone right back down to how it right is. Bumper to bumper as I head through turn number 3.
Yeah, Senior's not going to give up so easily. Might try to go and take the lead back before they go and potentially do that last round of pit stops, which we would expect somewhere around lap 60, even 65, depending on how daring these guys get.
The thing is, though, do you want to risk it? Try to push it as far, or do you come in, or try and get maybe some fresh tires on the car? Make up a bit of time, because I don't know how big the tire fall-off's been. We're only 20 laps into the run, but it could maybe be an issue by the time we get down to it.
It's about 1 second and 2/10 we're looking at for a good chunk of these drivers.
Yeah, some of these guys back here, it's about almost 1.7, I think I saw. I might just be hallucinating, who knows?
It is happening a little bit. It's definitely not as severe as we saw it at New Hampshire last week, where we had almost 6 seconds of fall off between drivers, which that race was quite interesting on its own. But the gaps here in this race are getting a lot bigger, and we're seeing a 4-second gap between 12th and 13th, for instance. Derek Cope on the tail end of this group, he's 4.3 seconds back, and then Bobby Hamilton, 13th, 8.1 seconds back, about to get passed by the 98 and the 94.
It's always good to see Bill Elliott running well in these races. That 98 team's been struggling. Really the only highlight is Willow Springs, I think, from a 98 team, and that's not a thing you want to consider the highlight of your season, you know?
Yeah, highlights supposed to be for great moments, not how high you can get your car. But looking past that, I mean, their last good finish was a 12th place at Talladega. You have to go back to Martinsville for their last top 10. Actually, that was their only top 10 of the year. So
not only was their only top 10, it was their only top 5, a 4th place finish at Martinsville.
Yeah, so definitely a lot to be desired on that 98 car for Yarborough Elliott Akins Racing, which is a little bit of a mouthful of a name to say.
Sometimes you just gotta live with it. You know, you just gotta live with the comedy of what people come up with in this league.
I mean, hey, they're still supporting the 98. It's still got that McDonald's. It's still running out there each week, so no matter how many people you gotta put on it to the name sometimes, as long as it's running.
Indeed it is. So, we gap between 2nd and 3rd, Earnhardt 2nd. Gotta think, is Hornaday gonna try catching back up, to see if he can get back in the fight for this win? Or is he gonna stay patient, try to conserve his stuff for whenever we get to the inevitable pit cycle? Because I don't think there's any way anyone in this field is going to go 45 laps on fuel.
Yeah, I don't think so. We'll see, and it looks like
Another
the
thing,
49 was on pit road.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we may have had an issue. Jeff Green in the pits, lap 49, a 70.
A little bit early for a last pit stop, so...
Well, I mean, he'll still make it to the end with 21 to go. But he is gonna go a lap down here.
Yeah, very off cycle, though, and... whatever
Big
issues...
run here, Ricky Craven. Sorry to interrupt, but that was a big run for the 73, who's going to go into 4th place here, potentially.
Looks like if he can clear the 42, entering turn number 2, and it looks like he... yes, he will.
Again, it's only a little horrifying whenever we go side by side two here.
Just a little bit. And look
He
there,
entered
we have
really
more
low
cars
into that
coming into
corner.
pit road, actually.
They're pitting now. They are pitting now. Lap 50 of 70. Here comes the leaders. Dale Earnhardt will take back the lead. And here, a lot of the back markers are coming in as well from last lap.
Yeah, the 46, 17, 88. But I think, yeah, what Ron Hornaday was trying to do there, trying to catch up to the 4 and the 43, get as much gap made up right before they make the pit stop, so he has less of a gap to try to make up when they get out of their pit stops. So we see the leader was the 43 car all the way up here. Pretty alone
he
right
leads
now.
it. Supposedly the 24 is running in second place. He's a long ways back from the Dale Earnhardt. Now is Earnhardt going to pit here? Lap 51 of 70. Yes, he will, I believe. Now the question is, will anyone stay out? Which I doubt it. I don't think there's anyone left to stay out. But we could see something change on the ticker, maybe.
You know, the 24 is coming in right now, so I think that's going to be everybody.
So a very quick pit cycle here at Pocono. Once the 43 and 24 complete their pit stops, now it's just a matter of where will they come out in relative to the 4 of Jeff Burton. That's the main question here.
Because there's the 4 car right now. And look at the gap right now between everybody else. 4 has a good distance over the 5 and 73.
I was seeing there, I believe the 43 took a half can of fuel. They're taking 4 tires and a half can of fuel. Here comes Burton! Oh my goodness!
And they come out almost side by side through turn 1. Senior's going to slot right in right behind the 4 car there. And the 24 is going to fall into about 6th or 7th.
Again, mildly horrifying activities occurring here at Pocono. But Jeff Burton will keep the lead.
And now everybody is extremely spread out. So I think right now we're going to see who did the best adjustments for this last little short run. And see who can go and just take the advantage of these individually spaced out cars and splice their way to the front. I have a feeling Ron Hornaday is going to be the first one to do so. He is going pretty quickly to the back bumper of the 43 car right now.
Did you see his speed heading into turn number 1, Michael? 202 miles an hour entering turn number 1 here at Pocono. That is outrageous.
I think this 5 car is really in the prime opportunity right now to go ahead and get something really great out of today. He's up to the back bumper of the 43 in turn 3. If you can follow him through the corner, I think he's going to have a good chance to get a run down the front stretch. If he decides to do so.
One thing I don't think we've mentioned yet, his teammate Steve Park won last week in New Hampshire. And these two have gone back and forth with wins this season. Park and Hornaday have been going back and forth at Hendrick Motorsports, swapping wins. So you gotta think it's a matter of time before Hornaday gets back in victory lane.
Yeah, he has 2 wins already. One at Talladega, one at Dover. So 3rd at Michigan would be quite good as we see Dale Sr. trying to go ahead to outrun the 5, catch down the 4.
Trying to close in here at Pocono with 26 laps to go when they cross the line. Burton leads, and that's Earnhardt, Hornaday, Craven in 4th, and Dale Jr. rounding out the top 5. And look at Craven, he might be catching up to this group here. Oh, he is. 2 tenths he gained last time by.
Let's take a look at those lap times. 52.3 for Jeff Burton, 52.19 for Dale, 52.38 for Ron Hornaday, 52.12 for Craven, and 52.01 for Dale Jr. So I think we're going to see this 5-car battle right now. Who's going to be the fastest one of them all?
Still a lot to play for here at Pocono, and when I said it was 26, I meant to say 16. We're coming up on 15 laps to go here this time by, and here comes Earnhardt. He's got to run.
He's got to run, but it's a long straightaway. You got to try to hold that momentum. But if he can get to the inside through turn 1, that's going to be good news for him. No, though.
Oh my
Not
goodness,
yet.
I thought he had it there into turn 1. But now it's going to allow these guys to, if they can get side by side, it's going to allow these guys a bit farther back to close in. Here comes Hornaday, looking to possibly make a move for second.
Hornaday up to the back bumper, the 43. They're all single file. Someone's going to get out of line first. Who's it going to be, though? It's going to allow Craven and Junior a chance to catch up. Maybe Sterling Marlin all the way back in 6th.
3 seconds back from the lead is Marlin. Here comes Hornaday, looking right there. Can't get a run just yet. Now Earnhardt peeking again. Earnhardt peaks again. This has been a lot of 5 to be side by side with Earnhardt at least. I think the 43 is screwed up here.
Look at, 43. He's got the 5 challenging on the outside. Don't know how that's going to work. But the 43 almost side by side with the 4.
Yeah, he'll have to send it in though, which I don't think he can do. Really. 2 here. Now this could allow the 4 to pull away a lot.
I think that backfired for the 43. There's that gap now.
I'm pretty damn sure it did.
Coming up on lap number 58 now is 70. And now you got to regroup and go after the 4 again. Don't have to worry about saving or anything. Just go ahead. I'd say at this point, you got to figure out when are you going to... Well, you're going to be putting 100%, but my question is, when are you going to be putting that 110%? Pushing that car to go ahead and make that pass. Because I think really you're going to have one shot to go 110%.
Here he goes. He's doing it now. He's taking a chance now for a lead into turn 2. Dale Earnhardt Sr., Jeff Burton going at it. Ricky Craven, Dale Jr., they're catching up. Here comes Hornaday. He's going to send it in for the last 3.
Side by side through turns 3. Is the 5 going to be able to get any sort of a run through the corner? No, he's not. Dale Sr. to the lead.
Here comes a 48 all the way down to the inside. That's going to be for 4th place between the 73 and the 48. With 12 laps to go. It's all going on here at Pocono. It's all for play in the top 5.
Top 5 separated by 0.6 of a second. We have the 4, Jeff Burton, up to the back bumper of the 43. Could potentially try to go and make a move. Craven's trying to hold off Junior, but for how long? Down the straightaway into turn 2. Junior's looking to the inside.
All the way down to the inside, all the way down. Oh my god, I thought he got loose. I thought he about spun it. That was almost a catastrophe for the 48. But they stay fighting for 4th place, and that's going to allow the top 3 to run away once again.
The battle for 4th still continues, and the gap is getting ever so bigger. Now 1.1 between 1st and 4th.
Could that have just cost them their chance of potentially getting on the podium? With 11 laps to go.
And they have checked out from the rest of the field. Almost 5 seconds now, separating these top 5 and 6th place and back.
It's going to be a battle at least between these 3. It could be the top 5 that fight this one out to the very end. Dale Sr. in the lead, looking for his first win in 1997. The 7-time Winston Cup Series champion, trying to finally break through in 1997.
Right now, it looks a little difficult for people to make runs, except for Dale Jr., who's having enough fun time trying to get around the 73 at Craven. Entering turn 1, Junior's got the preferred lane. And finally, Junior clears the 73. And they battle for 2nd right in front of him. 5 to the
Here
inside of the 4.
Down into turn number 2. Earnhardt pulling away even more as they battle. Burton gets a run on the outside, but Hornaday fighting back. Dale Sr. is loving this in the lead.
4 in the 5. 5 might have gone too much to the inside. Looks like he did, and the 4 is going to hold on to second. There's Dale Jr. finding new lanes, trying to get third.
All the way down to the inside, but can't get the run on his teammate. And now running away at the front, a gap of 0.8 of a second between Earnhardt and Burton. Can Earnhardt get a 72nd career win here today?
You know how long he's been trying to get that win. So many seconds, so many top 5s, so many top 20s, and still no win for the points leader. To increase the points gap and win would be an absolutely perfect day, as these cars still battle for second on back, as Gordon has worked his way up into 6th right now. Sterling Marlin has fallen back to 8th.
But they're 6 seconds off the lead. It's not going to matter in this battle here. Earnhardt has moved up to 3rd. Earnhardt Sr. leads, Earnhardt Jr. in 3rd. He might look for 2nd. Here comes Hornaday to break it up.
Hornaday trying to look to the inside. That's a teammate. Nothing of it.
Just don't do what Sabco did if you're a teammate. I am begging you, do not wreck your teammate, especially with 8 laps to go.
Right now, I'm pretty sure this is one of those times where a top 5 for all these guys is very much appreciated. So don't do anything to ruin that. You see Junior to the inside, trying to hold on against the 5 car. And he just takes it very wide through the corner. Lets himself slide up. And I think he's going to slide up in front of the 5 out of turn 1. Yes, he is.
So he'll stay in 3rd. Now can he catch the 4? And if he catches the 4, can he pass him quick enough to have a chance at his father?
Father-son 1-2 out in Pocono would be... Well, you know they're going to be celebrating that one. If he can do it. He's still got to pass the 4 first.
The thing is, I'm worried though, if he tries to pass the 4, that could have led a 43-1 rate. He's going to try it anyway. This is for 2nd place, but it's all the way down. They have a long way to go, but Hornaday's going to go all the way to the inside as well.
And now Junior might be under fire from his teammate in the 5.
This is scary, but everyone in front of these two are absolutely loving it.
As they still battle side by side, we'll see that time around. Jeff Burton ran a 52.60. Dale Sr. ran a 52.70. So Burton could still catch in, theoretically, as these guys battle for 3rd. Still, I think Junior's going to get the run off the corner here. But the 5's looking for help from Craven. Or Craven might try to go and get around the 5 for 4th.
He's going to have to make a move, I feel like. Coming down to nitty-gritty, 5 laps to go in this one at Pocono. Gotta think, how much is left in the tank of your car? Can you go and push all the way? Try and get those last few positions, those last few points here before this one is all said and done.
These gaps between them, 5 points, 4 points, it's going to come down to every single point when you're trying to go and get yourself the best finish you can for your car and for the championship, guys. To the idea of losing a championship by something as small as 5 or 10 points even, that's heartbreak central. And I don't think anybody wants to think about that. And nobody wants it to happen to them. Here's Junior taking a wide entry to the corner. Almost set up a run. Here he goes to the inside of Jeff Burton, looking for second.
Imagine the scenes here in Pocono if the Earnhardts go 1 and 2!
And the 4 goes wide. Junior kind of forced him up there.
Wrecked himself. Burton got himself wrecked in turn 2. That's going on a 43 to runway. But a new man enters second place, and it's Dale Earnhardt Jr.
It's Earnhardt Sr., Earnhardt Jr. out front. 1-2. Lap number 68 of 70.
3 more times around at Pocono. Can Dale Jr. gain a half second? Can he catch his father? Can Dale Jr. get his first career win by beating his father?
We've seen the 48. He's been following the 43 through most of the race. So he's got a good idea of what the heck his father might do during any of these moves. But first step is going to be, does he have enough pace to catch him? As we see the 10 car reporting a vibration. Nothing serious of it yet, though. He still remains in 9th.
Battle for third here between Burton and Hornaday. If these two get side, that could allow the 48 way. Try and catch the 43. It's 2 laps to go at Pocono to begin lap 69.
0.3 of a second separating the 43 and the 48. Junior's got to be perfect, I think. Through these last 2 corners, the 5 and the 4 almost made a bit of contact.
The 5 just sent him way up the track. It's going to be a battle down into turn 3. This pretty much seals the Earnhardt 1-2, but will the 5 have a chance to get third? Or could the 73 play spoiler here?
He's sitting back in 5th. Still has an opportunity to try to go and make a move. Although not much, though. We're coming up on the white flag next time around.
Junior's there! Junior's there! But he lost it through turn 3! He lost so much time! It might just end it there!
To the white flag, and the gap 0.3 plus 7 100ths.
I don't think he'll have enough time. I think that turn 3 right there just cost Junebug the race. Rounding turn 1 for the final time. Down towards the tunnel turn. Earnhardt Jr. trying to catch his father, but I don't think he'll have enough time to steal it.
Senior, like we said, been waiting for that win. Win number 1 of 1997. He's got the points lead. He's got top 10s. But he doesn't have the win. And out of turn 3, he's got the best opportunity to do it. Here we go. Out of turn 3, Dale Earnhardt finally breaks the winless streak, and he wins it at Pocono.
One bad corner cost Junior the race. And sometimes that's all it is in the Winston Cup series. Dale Earnhardt Sr., first win of the year. Dale Earnhardt Jr. will come home in second. Then it's Jeff Burton, Ron Hornaday Jr., Dale Jarrett, Bobby Hamilton, Harry Gant, and Sterling Marlin rounding out the top 10. Oh my goodness, what a race that was.
It was 210 turns we made around Pocono today, and it was just one that cost the race. Heartbreak, but also celebration, because yes, he didn't go and get the win, but it's still a second place for the rookie. It's a 1-2 Earnhardt. The Earnhardts are going to be celebrating in victory lane.
Junior fought like hell to get there. He battled through from 5th place. After the pit cycle, he was able to get all the way. But like we said, one corner is all it takes to send it all to hell.
To round out the top 10, we got Jeff Burton, Ron Hornaday Jr., Ricky Craven, Jeff Gordon, Dale Jarrett, Bobby Hamilton, Harry Gant, and Sterling Marlin.
Top 10 so good, you just gotta look at it twice, you know? As we move on to the future. Next time out, we go to Indianapolis, the Brickyard 400. Michael, one of the most prestigious races of the year. What can we look forward to then?
Oh man, that's another 2-mile track, but you're going to have a lot higher speeds there. We're going to see up in past that 200-mile-an-hour marker for a good chunk of the race. And it's going to be a lot of that thing of these cars are going to get spread out, so who's going to get that momentum going through each of the corners? Except we don't have the banking to complement it there. There's a lot less banking out at Indianapolis compared to tracks like Michigan or California. So that's going to be something big to consider for a lot of these guys. We've seen Dale Jarrett go ahead and dominate at the 2-mile tracks. We'll see if he can go and continue it heading into Indianapolis. And then looking beyond that, we've got Watkins Glen, Michigan again, Bristol, Darlington, Richmond. Whole variety of tracks. We've got the full sampler out there. And I'm looking forward to it all. Darien, is there one of those tracks? Which one are you looking forward to the most?
You know, if you asked me at the start of this season, that I would say at this stage of the year that I would be looking forward to seeing Bristol again, I would have called you crazy. That race was so much fun, and I cannot wait to get back to the last great Coliseum.
A lot of good races to look forward to complement the great racing we've seen already. And look at this, 42 cars finish this race, all on the lead lap. Great run, better than the flips we had not that long ago here. Morgan Shepherd, the only person to retire with a mechanical failure. And through it all, it's the Earnhardts, senior in first, junior in second. Absolutely stellar runs for the two of them. Great things to celebrate as we come to the end of our broadcast here. For Darien Arnsdorff, this is Michael Paz and the Draft Series. We will see you all next time from Indianapolis. It's absolutely great having you here. We'll see you all then. Bye-bye.